Salaam Alaykum. This is Shaykh Ibrahim, and today I'd like to talk about competence in work, home, and life. There are times when our expectations about how good and competent we are can be challenged by day-to-day experiences. And now, though you may think poorly of yourself from these events, it may be more positive than you think. And we are interested in growing. And to keep growing, like the snake, we have to shed our skin every once in a while. That shedding means it's time to assess what we've learned so far and perhaps dump some of our earlier expectations. When we started that job, for example, it was probably a bit of a learning curve. There may have even been a bit of fake it till you make it going on. But now that you've been in the job for a while, you've let go or moved on from the pressure of getting things right and are maybe looking for a new kind of challenge. What is this obstacle blocking us from moving on? What exactly is this alleged challenge? Well, my beautiful friends, it is you. You are in the way. The problem is you can't go around you. You will have to take down the monster you to move on to the next phase. In storytelling, this could be the dark night of the soul, because all that you are and all that you have become must now be faced and overcome. This nefs you knows you so well that it will copy your moves and intentions. It knows your excuses and rationalizations. It will even tell you that you have won the grand tournament. But it's often a lie. Or, as in almost all video games, there is a boss that sits at the end of the level that you have been learning and gathering skills and equipment to overcome. You cannot go on to the next level until you have vanquished the boss. In most games, you've got to get bigger and more powerful skills and weapons. But in this situation, it's the opposite. You must learn how to develop your subtle skills and deploy the hidden weapons of truth and love. Does it seem impossible? Yes, of course it does. This is you, your shadow you. If you want Allah, peace, unity, awareness, then your battle cry must become truth, love. And then, of course, shadow will throw the fog of distractions at you. And if you don't keep your focus, you will become confused and stray off course. Shadow will do what you would do when arguing with an intimate. It will bring up intelligent and considered counter-arguments, and these are fantastic and clever distractions. Don't be fooled. These are chocolate-covered lies. They have no substance. Allah is first. The heart and love are supreme. Connection is the spiritual lifeblood of meaning and purpose. This is an important reason why we do zikr, prayer, reflection, and study. You must now use the appropriate tools with which you've practiced to chip away at this imposter. Meditation, therapy, isolation, zikr, prayer, a walk in the woods, whatever works for you, even an empty, quiet place where you can talk or shout at Allah and get things straight with the big guy. Can you argue with Allah? Is that permitted? Of course. Let him know how you feel. He can take it. Let him have it. Work out your problems in a knockdown, winner-takes-all bout. It's okay to yell and scream and fight. But the most important thing, then, is when you are finished to stop and listen to the response in your heart. Dialogue is a two-way street. If you do not receive an answer, if you have trouble getting an appropriate response, go to someone whose job it is to help you hear your heart, like a sheikh, a roshi, a sensei, a rabbi. This is dying before you die. Your little self has to kick the bucket so you can move maturely and sensibly forward. Is it painful? Sometimes it's just like a vaccination. And depending on your personal path, it may be a smooth transition, or it could be what some call a nervous breakdown. The current scaffolding of what makes you think you are you must be taken down. Very often, the conflict is encased in a paradox that you've got to grapple with to find the sum of the opposites. For example, where is the heart when we must work to pay the bills and support our family? This is a tricky little paradox. Heart or money? Which is it? In any paradox like this, your reflection may be to find the commonality between or held within the opposing values. To aid the process, you will need to change your perspective, your point of view, your understanding of everything, perhaps. It is a puzzle worthy of a dervish detective. That's you. And you must gather the clues and subtle hints and shift it in new configurations. It's kind of like an anagram or Sudoku. Unity and resolution is there. So you might want to change things up. Look at it like upside down, backwards. If you've been doing your practices and studies and your intention is sincere, the answer will appear, sometimes in ways you don't expect. Now, I hope you heard me correctly. I said, if you have continued your practices, this transition will go somewhat smoothly. If, however, you have not been doing your assigned practice, difficult but impossible. The practices of zikr, rabita, adab, prayer, and reflection are not just to give you something to do. They are a preparation for times like these, when you're transiting to new levels of understanding. The practices are the concrete foundations which you build upon. One of their purposes is to support you in your growth. When your world is rocked by a crisis, a sudden shift of relationship, a death or birth in your family, a job or a burning need, what are you going to rely on? What's going to keep you afloat? Like a ship's keel, the sacred practices are what keep us on course and not capsize us like a little flat-bottom boat. The first wave will knock you over in one of those. You want to stay centered, grounded, focused, and open-hearted to allow the changes to happen. And rather than being smacked upside the head by a big wave, you will know how to move instinctively, fluidly, and flexibly. By staying connected with your heart and your zikr and your shaykh or shaykha, life's stream of joys, smelly diapers, inspiration, and getting fired will be instructive, but not utterly depress you. There is always something new to learn. So, turning this feeling of incompetence on its head, we can see that it may be a positive feedback to shift your focus back to the simple and clear truth. La ilaha illallah. There is nothing but Allah. Who? Salaam Alaykum, murids, seekers, curious, and interested listeners. We appreciate you and are happy to share our Sufi message. Your donation will help support our Sufi Center in Sydney, where we do zikr, sohbet, spiritual counseling, and healing services. We believe the message should be free, but it costs equipment, rental, services, software, and hardware to get this to you. So thank you for choosing our podcast among all the millions available. If you go to our website, ansarisufiorder.org, you will be able to donate through PayPal whatever you think this information is worth to you. Blessings and love, the Australian Ansari Sufi Order.